Steve here from the Vinyl Record Mission. Join me today as we find out what this has to do with Kraft's OneStep release of Isaac Hayes' Hot Buttered Soul.
Your two favorite guys, Ryan and Steve from the Vinyl Record Mission.
So there seems to be many different opinions of what sounds better when it comes to the amazing, iconic album from Isaac Hayes, Hot Buttered Soul. Yes, it's absolutely amazing. And I'm ashamed to say that I have just recently discovered this record. And I was watching Mike Esposito's channel, The In Groove, and he was showing his new releases. And I noticed he mentioned the OneStep issue of Hot Buttered Soul. He continued to say that it was the best sounding of all the OneStep releases that he's heard. I trust Mike's ear. He's the owner of a very successful large record store. He has a very, very expensive audio system, and he is, I believe, a very discerning listener. When he said that, I immediately went and looked up the record, and I listened to it, and I was blown away. And you know, I say this all the time. I don't know everything, and I never claim to know everything, and I learn something new every day on this channel. And I was so happy to have finally been introduced to that record after all these years. 1969, I mean, come on. I was born 2 years before that, and my parents didn't really listen to that much deep soul. And this is a deep soul record, let me tell you. I was blown away to hear what Isaac did to these classic tunes, starting with Walk On By, an amazing Burt Bacharach written song. I knew about that song because Dionne Warwick had it plastered all over, AM and FM radio back then. And Isaac Hayes does an amazing job with that song. I have never heard a cover song be reinvented so beautifully, so soulfully. And Dionne's version is amazing, but Isaac's version just floored me. And, mind you, the Bar-Kays are the backing group on this entire record. The next song that blew me away, which I can't really even pronounce it, so I'm just going to say Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That song just blew me away. I mean, you want to talk about funk, psych, soul, all in one amazing fuzzy guitar and beautiful drum riffs. Just a funky, soulful song. I believe it's like 9 minutes long, and there's only 4 songs on this album. And the song Woman, probably my least favorite on the song, a very, romantic ballad, but it didn't do nearly as much for me as Walk On By and track 2. And then finally, the amazing, I think it was Jimmy Webb who wrote the tune, but Johnny Rivers first performed this song in 1969. And then 2 years later, Glenn Campbell took it, a little one step further, if I might say, and brought it really to the top of the charts. And that was By the Time I Get to Phoenix. If anybody could take a 2-minute song and turn it into an 18-minute epic tune, it was Isaac Hayes. Yeah, it's basically got like a 9-minute monologue about the writer, the artist, and I still haven't found out if he's talking about Jimmy Webb, if he's talking about Johnny Rivers, or if he's talking about Glenn Campbell. But he's talking about the young artist, and then he goes on to tell a story about love. And man, by minute 9, you're like, when's the song going to start? Well, it starts right around minute 9, and then you get 9 minutes of a beautiful version of By the Time I Get to Phoenix. The album itself is outstanding. The OneStep, I have yet to even open it, and I wanted to go ahead and do that with you just to show you how well Kraft and their distributor, Music Today, warehouse packs their records. This thing is, look at that. It's a nice thick package. It's bigger than the actual record, so there's got to be some padding in there. Well, let's get it opened real quick so we can see how it's packaged inside. So it opens like so. Nice. Well, these boxes were clearly made for records. As you can see, they lock in place, and it's definitely padded on the inside all the way around, as you can see there. I think you can see that, right? So we'll take off that sheet there, and there inside is the record. Beautifully packed. Curious to see what number it is because these are actually limited. So yeah, great packaging, and the jacket is rather thick. You can see there. This is number 1052, it looks like. Yep, 1052. Not sure how many of these they made, but nevertheless, it was $99. $100 I paid for this record. But that was after looking on Discogs, because I'm all about original pressings. You guys know that. If I can get an original pressing, I'm all over it. But that's where people are mistaken that you can find. Remember, this is a sealed mint record. It's sealed. It's never been played before. So good luck finding a sealed copy of this album for under, a couple $100 probably. I did my research. I looked because I would have loved to have bought a near mint copy or a sealed copy of this album for the same price. I'd be happy to pay, anywhere close to $100 for that. But what I don't like is I can't trust these Discog sellers or even the eBay sellers to deliver what they say. Most of them really have a difficult time grading correctly. And the sound floor of those records, being that they're 56, 57 years old, it's never going to be as good as one of these. So what I found was, to find something for $99 or even $75, good luck. Good luck finding something like that. It's basically a never-ending chase to find something that's going to be as clean and beautiful as this. Spend the extra $20 and get something that's truly going to sound as good or better. That's arguably going to be a difference of opinion, but I've heard more positive things about this record in comparison to the original Enterprise pressing than I've heard people say that it sounds better. And it could be the person's system. That might be why it sounds better. This is going to sound every bit as good as every dollar spent on this album. That's just my feeling. From the get-go, it's beautiful, right? Nice, kind of velvety. Oh no, actually no. It almost feels kind of like really, really super fine sandpaper, like an 800 grit or super fine. I don't know if you could see. Kind of has a little grain on there. This is some kind of plastic or plexiglass, I don't know, but very cool. It's got little Isaac Hayes on the side with the title. Let's pull it out. I've never had one of these. This is my first OneStep, so I'm super excited. She pull this thing out. Gosh. Okay, that has this little drawstring that you pull out, and then out comes the record. So, it's attached to that. Okay, not sure if I'll be putting it back in that same way. So this looks like just the insert, and probably talks about the process. It looks like on the inside shows the master tapes here that I guess they recorded this from. And yeah, these tapes are 60 or 59 or 58, 57 years old. But hopefully they've been well cared for and properly stored, and it will still sound beautiful. And then here's the album cover in its original state, how it looked back in 1969 when it was originally released. Let's rip off this shrink because I'm not a shrink guy. We'll take this off and look at the vinyl. Okay. All right. Just don't really care for shrink wrap. Okay, so we got it out of the shrink. Let's have a look at the vinyl. It's got the nice audiophile inner sleeve, as you can see here. Nice little anti-static inner. The original Enterprise label. And, looks like it could use a washing. Looks like some light film of some kind. Could be the releasing agent. I'm not sure if you guys know about that, but you should always wash brand new records because there is a releasing agent that comes off of them that sometimes doesn't get all the way off, and you can sometimes hear that in playback. But there it is right there. This was cut by Bernie Grundman and mastered by Bernie Grundman. So in the beginning, I showed you this, right? Well, this is a microwave popcorn container. It's used to make fresh popcorn in the microwave, and it's the most amazing thing you've ever seen or tasted. So before that, to me, microwave popcorn was nasty. I hate putting those little pre-packed packages in the microwave with already had the butter inside, and it just nasty. It just, to me, it was nasty. So I preferred stovetop. You put it in your pan, put some oil on the bottom, and you shake the popcorn until it pops up to the top. You really got to sit there and work it because you got to shake the popcorn. And it made the best, freshest popcorn ever. And then you would butter it yourself afterwards. And it was the closest thing to movie popcorn that, I've ever tasted. So I opted for that. And to me, kind of like, that's the difference between, audiophile records. Before, I think, this thing came around, I didn't care for microwave popcorn. But the audiophile industry has refined itself so well to me that I think it's worth, in some cases, spending an extra $20 to have an amazing sounding copy of an OG that's difficult to find. And to find it in the same condition as these audiophile releases, which is mint and new and sealed, is next to impossible. And I really don't have the time to go on those searches. And like I said before, the prices are sometimes ridiculously more expensive than these audiophile pressings. This was $100. And check out these prices that I found on Discogs for the same first pressing 1969 Isaac Hayes Hot Buttered Soul for $193 in near mint condition for the vinyl and VG Plus cover. $193. I mean, I could buy two of these for that. The next one down I found was $155. VG Plus vinyl and VG cover. Right? This next one, $129 near mint from Israel. You might want to rethink that one. I don't know if you want to buy something from there right now. Anyways, the last one and then I stopped because it wasn't getting any more impressive to me. Somewhere I heard that you could get a near mint copy for $75. Well, I mean, I looked and I couldn't find anything in that price range. The next one was $102 and it was VG Plus, vinyl and cover. Why do I want to spend the same amount of money on something that's, and these guys, these grades might not even be accurate. The sound floor is going to be noisy, I'm sure of it. So just instead of take that risk, it's a lot of money to throw at a gamble. Believe me, I've been doing this long enough and I've bought enough records online to know that, man, it's always a gamble. I think very few times have I ever been like 100% happy with the sound quality. and the grade that I've got. Most of these records aren't play graded anyways. You got to know that up front. Beware. You're getting visually graded records. But when you buy something like this, brand new, you know, that's coming out, never been played, then, you know, your odds of it being perfect are far, far greater than buying from sellers online. So I am very thrilled that I made this purchase, that I spent $100, $20 more, than I would have spent on a record that I can't find, and that isn't out there right now for me to get instantly. You know, sometimes our instant gratification takes over, and you know, I don't want to wait. I don't want to be having to hunt it down or wait for it and shop for it, and you know, I want to hear it now, and I want to enjoy it as quickly as possible. So that's what I did, and that's where I'm at. And I would highly recommend this record to anybody that, you know, would like a pristine sounding copy with no background noise and just beautiful mastering. Bernie Grundman, come on. I don't know that I have anything in my collection, Bernie Grundman, that I'm not satisfied with. He is an amazing, you know, lacquer cutter, if you want to call him that, and knows his way around mastering. So yeah, I think it's a win-win for everybody. And just like this amazing little gadget here that took my microwave popcorn to an audiophile level, give this record a try. And I know it's pricey, but have you seen the prices of original pressing records? I mean, lately it's ridiculous. I just proved it with the Isaac Hayes. What these people on Discogs are asking, are they out of their mind? I was looking for the Dusk, you know, Matt Johnson. I mean, I can't find a copy of it for less than $350. Come on, $350 and upwards of $500, $600 people are asking for, you know, VG++ and near mint copies. And they're selling, I can see recent sales of that record for like $125, $150, $175. Yeah, you know, that's still high, but man, if I found one of those, I'd pay it if it was near mint condition. But nevertheless, I'm happy with this purchase, and if you decide to make it as well, I hope you're happy with it too. And one more thing, we got to 3,000 subscribers, and I want to thank everybody for helping us get there. The Vinyl Record Mission has only been on YouTube for, it's been 15 months now, and we are already up to 3,700 subscribers. We just hit 3,000 the day before yesterday. And we're doing our best to bring you great content. Hopefully the content that we create and bring to you is entertaining enough to keep you watching and keep you sharing our videos with your friends. And continue to subscribe if you're coming here for the first time, and just keep us going because we love what we do. This is Steve from the Vinyl Record Mission. Until next time, take care.
If you haven't, make sure you hit like and subscribe to the Vinyl Record Mission so that way you don't miss out on any future content. More videos coming your way.